Hello there, good evening. Thank you so much for joining us on Joy Asanye Live, where we delve into very important issues, especially those that would get you informed and get you living better. Today is Wednesday, and a lot of us who follow the show already know that every Wednesday is Eduvention Day with Dr. James Komolafe, the founder, CEO, SAPA Resources. And today we'll be talking about Eduvention and potential optimization. The concept will be broken down for us, and Dr. James Komolafe, who's always here to give us a very important breakdown, will do so today again. So we'll go for a short break. When I return, I will unveil Dr. James Komolafe to you once again, and we get into this very important concept. Be right back. Welcome back from that very short break. Dr. James Komolafe, thank you again for being part of this program. Welcome.
Great to be here today for the Eduvention program again today. And I hope you are eduventionally compliant.
Yes, you know, from the last time we met, I have been trying to be eduventionally compliant.
Because life is not just about running up and down, seeing what can work, as if you are pressing buttons.
Exactly.
So is it, what can I try, and what is going on out there, and all of that. That is completely against the culture of Eduvention. This is the day and times we are curious about knowing something, what's going on there, what's happening there, and all of that, which is good in the short run. Somebody said if you are not informed, then you are deformed.
Formed, exactly.
And nobody wants to be deformed, but it's not even enough to be informed. You need the information for some levels of personal, institutional, and organizational transformation. And that's the whole concept of Eduvention, saying, what do you know? Education. Formal, informal, secular, private, cultural, and anything you know should be of benefit, not just to you as per knowledge, to your neighbors, to the society. How do you translate knowledge into intervention? So education on one side and intervention on the other side. So there should be a direct linkage, a direct proportion between what you know and what you do to solve problems.
So what would you say? I mean, a lot of people do not have that touch, or we don't review our lives enough to know if we're following the proper lifestyle protocol that Eduvention preaches, which is basically bringing you inside out to know what is going on so that you can be at your optimal. Optimal, exactly.
I like the word optimal you said, and that is one of the pivotal dimensions of Eduvention. Saying yes, you're making it, you are making a headway, and all of that. In this part of the world, we like comparing ourselves with ourselves. Oh, I'm better than this, I'm better than that. That is anti-Eduvention culture. In Eduvention, you are actually comparing yourself to your very self. You are working hard at it to beating your own game. Where you were before to where you are now.
Right.
So the subject of relativism does not really come into show except when the searchlight is pointed at you. Yes, I have achieved this much, but can I be more than this? When I'm more than this, how well can that knowledge translate into direct transformation? Intervention. How well has that knowledge turned to solutions, critical intervention, where I'm able to interact, interface, and intervene in common issues of commonality, societal problems, and all that at whatever rate, even if it is just a margin.
Right.
So in Eduvention is saying, what is your marginal productivity like?
Right.
It's not running around the same circle all the time and you say, oh, I'm just busy. You can be busy and be guilty.
Guilty? I even wanted to say you can be busy and not impactful. Yeah. But what then do you mean by busy
you are
guilty?
busy, not impactful. You are making motion, but not movement. You drive a car, I know your car. By the time you
Accelerate,
kickstart your car, the engine keeps being on motion. It's one thing for you to power drive the car and start making movement. Otherwise, if you keep throttling and you keep pressing the accelerator, what do you have? You have all the noise everywhere while your engine keeps running.
But you're not moving. Right.
So there are so many people out there who, under the guise of being busy, you see them actually sweating. And they come under some certain cliche. Oh, life is tough. You have to struggle. The struggle continues. As if the more you sweat and struggle, the more you impact. Life does not answer to sweat as a matter of priority. It answers to seed. Nobody will plant sweat in the ordinary sense of it and reap anything from it. It is seed that has the capacity and the potential, when planted aright, to germinate and to bring forth after its kind. So Eduvention says, hey, Joy, don't tell me you are busy. Let's see the impact at the other side of the tunnel. What's the impact assessment looking like? Who is benefiting from that which you are doing or saying? And to what magnitude? Do you have reserved energies as an individual, as an institution, as a corporation? So that is why at times Eduvention and civil service at times are not friends.
Because it pushes you for...
It pushes you to say, hey, you are effective but you are not efficient.
Right.
Look within you. What else can you do? Where is your creative prowess? How can you make life much more easy and simple for every other person around you? So Eduvention looks at you inside out before you play the game outside in. Okay. You see, our first point of view and contact every time is to look at, to see what is happening, what is moving, what are they doing, and all of that. For which at times customer service will say, oh, you don't create product just for the sake of it. Let your customer be the one who decides what you create. That is good in the short run. But you see, you don't continue to wait for your customer, because the one you call your customer may not even know what his need analysis is. So it is through Eduvention you are able to do 3 E's.
3 E's?
Yes, okay. Through Eduvention as a culture.
So let's go.
1, the first E, you explore.
Right.
Into people, into processes, into practices, into institutions, organizations, families, to see what is there in situ, what is there now, what is their status now, what is the good, the bad, and the ugly now. The present state, Eduvention says, comb it, explore, because you see, beneath every crude resource in the depth of human beings, you see, are great virtues, great solutions, but they don't come to the fore. So dig into them. Use some certain mechanism that are educationally compliant to access into places, platforms, and people, so that you can bring out their best resources from the depth of their personal recesses within them. That is the letter E, the first E. The second E says, after you have combed and profiled into them through exploration techniques, we call it behavioral invasion. After behavioral invasion. Yes, we'll come to that. You invade into people. You invade into platforms. You look at organization, you look at their books, you look at their operations, you look at whatever, and invade into it. So you explore. So the second E is that you express what is being explored, and you show them the real status quo ante. No seams, no cover, no hiding place. Or see your pitch. You are in the valley here. You are on the mountain top here. You are doing well here. You are just suboptimal here, and you are down in the valley here. That is Eduvention by expression, so that people will see it this way it is.
It is, right.
You don't pretend. Eduvention hates pretense.
It is what it is, basically.
It is what it is, and you have to accept it. Hook, line and sinker. That's Eduvention for you.
Of course, but naturally, if you don't get it there and clear as it is, you would not be able to have that effective and efficient intervention.
You won't. You are just living in denial. And that's why you see, Eduvention has great regard for faith. But faith that tells you to deny reality and not to do anything and to take it as non-existent, it's not faith. So Eduvention says, look at the reality and do something about it. So the third E for Eduvention practice is establishment. Let the mountains and hills you have discovered be abased. Let the valley be what? Be raised up. Let all those crooked ways be straightened out, and all those rough places you are just patching and trying to just make up in order to mark up. Do the necessary so that you have a level playing ground to raise your game. Eduvention says, when you do that, every other competence, capabilities you carry will come to the fore, and you showcase a brand new level of ability that will create a new reality as people engage in new activities. So in so doing, what do you harvest by Eduvention? Instead of just enjoying increase, nominal increase, you have what we call multiplication. You begin to scale within the little resources you have. You see impact, influence, relevance. And where you are supposed to be the one doing the work of 7 people, you get 5 people and optimize. And know what to differ, what to distinct, what to delete, and then what to decline completely, and what to make very good. So, and then what to delegate, you also know. So Eduvention looks at all those holes, gaps, vacuum, and say, hey, fill them up. Otherwise, you are going to suffer leakages, even when you are looking for leverages and linkages. Block the gaps, identify the loopholes, and do something about it. Don't just wish it off. That is why you cannot separate Eduvention from education.
Right.
You keep learning, relearning,
and unlearning,
off-learning, and just raising your game, because Eduvention is not oblivious of the society. Of course, no Eduvention without the society.
Of course.
But the cue must of necessity begin from you, who creates the flow to look for the flaws. And you see, Joy, Eduvention says for everyone who has a flow within, has a flow outside there. So get your connection.
Right.
right. Otherwise, you suffer disconnect while carrying an ocean of resources in the form of potential. And that's why you see organizations, they don't last. You see the amazement, the first impression after 2-3 years, they are nosediving.
Exactly.
When they are supposed to take the game forward, they nosedive because they are not eduventionally compliant.
Now, for somebody who might be listening to us right now and wondering, eduvention and potential optimization, what does that concept really mean? Because by the concept of eduvention, it leads you to optimization. But when you say
if
potential,
you know what to do,
if you know what to do, of course,
and do what you know, it's a two-way traffic.
Yes. But when you now say potential optimization,
yes,
marry it for me. Eduvention is potential optimization in itself. So, at what point would you say that?
Maybe you say, Joy, eduvention is potential utilization.
Utilization.
You can utilize it and not maximize it.
So this is the point where you maximize to optimization.
Now, what is the difference between the two? Leave the two grammar, big grammar alone.
Right.
You have something you know about, and you know you need to use it profitably, scalably. That is potential utilization. You have been able to profile it, project it, and produce it to serviceable ends and platforms, people, institutions, and wherever. That is potential utilization.
Right.
But where eduvention comes in, point blank, is to say, well, you are utilizing these potentials, but is that all to you? Is that all that you have? Can there be more? Are there residues within you that you have not even seen or encountered? Eduvention says, let's still dig deep. Let's see what comes to the fore. I've dug deep into you to see where you need to also have some other subsidiaries, some other things coming up that you don't even plan for. And in so doing, you generate more resources and create more value. So when you get to that level where you come to the place we describe as the place of your best fit, you are just your best self for what you can do at your best. That is optimization. And it is relative to individual. So that's why if we don't plunge into you to take that profiling, we may never be able to say, oh, this is your optimality. And that is why you don't mimic any other person or any other organization to say everybody is unique and we all have our various stretch competencies, capabilities, and capacities. You can look at my size and say, oh, Dr. James should be able to carry 2 bags of Dangote cement. That is your own assessment. But I should know by myself that, okay, given what I see and what I am experiencing, I may not be able to lift a quarter of a bar because that is not where my competence and capability is. In fact, when you are eduventionally compliant, you are able to draw a wide line of dichotomy between competence and capability. You can be competent knowing about something now and not be capable tomorrow.
Achieve it.
Or even now, because you see, knowledge alone does not translate to freedom, to liberty, and to productivity. You need to be able to appreciably create value via that which you know, one, necessarily, and that value must meet a targeted need, for which we call niche market, niche product, niche service. So Eduvention says, well, you are meeting niche demands, niche services, producing niche product. Can there be more to you? And one thing Eduvention brings out is that It helps you to outline various other issues, resources that are innate in you, in your organization, for you to optimize. And he say, before you go out for loanable funds and borrow more funds and all of that, what can you do within? What are the levers that you have within and without? How do you tweak your resources, human and material, to achieve your best goal, your best objective, and your best end? That is Eduvention for you. So when you are eduventionally compliant and you want to prospect for optimality, you look at 3 variables. How many variables?
3 variables.
What's the first variable? You look at the concept variable.
Okay. Concept. Variable.
Yes. And the concept variable is your first domain, where you look at the aggregate of the holistic health. It takes a healthy organization, healthy family, healthy individual to produce.
True.
So you look at your mental health, your emotional health, your physical health, and even your spiritual health, and create a nexus in the 4. Why must you net the 4? Because wherever you are lopsided will create your weak point. And then the resources and the potential you carry will suffer leakages. And when you begin to drain, I'm sorry, you are not okay.
Because
is
it that at no point should you stretch yourself to a point where you are draining?
You are draining. And that's our Achilles heel here. People who want to work themselves to death. As if it takes...
If I don't get it now, it has to be...
And they set deadlines that they know is not feasible, unattainable. Now, when you are eduventionally compliant, you know what you do. While setting deadlines, you make sure those lines are not lines of the dead.
I see the play of on words there. They said deadlines that are
lines of the dead.
Right.
Because you see, when you go to such extent where you break your stretches, and that's why you see we pity organizations and companies who will stress their staff. We are not talking of just paying them overtime and all of that. Overtime is good in the short run. A staff that should have closed and go home by 5 or latest by 6 is still in the office balancing what by 10:30. And some of them are married women. I've seen a man who entered the bank in this town. Came for the wife. Let's go. You should have closed now. Madam says, sir, I never balance. He said, balance what? By 6:30? He just spoke one language and wrote resignation letter on behalf of the wife and said, I need my wife more than your bank. So what are we saying? Eduvention gives pivotal attention to your health, a rounded balance, mental health, the health of your brain, of your mind, physical health, the health of your body, emotional health, the health of your relationships and responsibilities, and then spiritual health. Possibly you believe God, whichever religion, notwithstanding, there's a God-shaped vacuum in every man that must be filled by the Creator himself. So your capacity to balance these 4 coordinates gives you a pivotal place in Eduvention. You are good to go. That is the first variable. Your concept must be whole without the holes, the loopholes, the vacuums, and the gaps. And we have biometrics to check that in Eduvention practice. What is the second variable? It is called construct. You need concept to be able to discover construct. Now, what is this variable all about, Joy? It is the skill set that you have.
That's within construct.
Within construct.
Right.
In fact, from the word construct, it's talking about tools, resources. What is manageable within your reach? What are your talents? What are your gifts? Whether crude or not crude, find out first. Don't copy nobody. You are not original when you are a copy.
Copy somebody, exactly.
You copy. You have a first class certificate, but it's a paper, a photocopy on ground. Anybody can match on it. But the original, you file it very well and possibly take it to the bank for safety. So what are we saying? The construct variable says, what are your skills? How well have you developed yourself? And are you developing yourself in order to be accustomed to what the society portends? And then what are your new levels of knowledge? Because you say, until you know better, your potential cannot shine better.
I like where you have taken the conversation, but we will go for a short break. When we return, we would delve into construct even better. And then exactly, and other concepts that we still have to cover.
Thank you very much.
But it's time to go for a short break. We'll be right back. When we return, Dr. James Komolafe will still be here to discuss eduvention, potential, and optimization. We'll be right back.
Yes, there is news on your device, but hearing an analyst's perspective is the icing on the cake that Daybreak Africa provides. Start your day with prompt analysis of the latest news, trends,
and then you see these people, they are so agile, they can do
politics.
We have to go back to that regional system. That is the foundation of this country, for God's sake.
Entertainment, fashion, culinary skills.
So first I'm going to be pouring the oil inside the pot.
Religious and cultural events amongst others on Daybreak Africa. For a rich mix of analysis on current issues, tune in daily from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on channel 480 and 124 on Star Times.
While wrapping up the day, unwind with the reminiscence of the day's news from home and abroad with Kaftan TV 7 p.m. News.
Good to have you join us on Kaftan News at 7.
Nigerians are living in up to 5%. Our young people, we broadcast the Harmony Symphony.
It's good to have you join us on Kaftan TV News at 7.
We found that the 10 naira not actually sufficient.
National, foreign news headlines. Get balanced, accurate facts on the latest news in business, politics, entertainment, sports, and more. Live from our studios.
Many thanks for watching and join us again at 9
Kaftan TV News.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for staying with us here live, where we're discussing everything Eduvention. I know we had talked about so much, but we had gotten the conversation to construct, and Dr. James Komolafe was just talking about the abilities that you have and how you can now apply them. Dr. James Komolafe, if you can gather your thoughts so that we continue this conversation.
My thoughts are always
around. I mean, you are Eduvention,
hook, line, and sinker 24/7.
So I can understand how you would have that balance and have your thoughts always with you without stretching, draining, or going extreme. No draining at all, or going extreme like some of us are often catching ourselves doing. But I assure you, I'm sure our viewers out there as well, eduventionally now better when they listen to you. But when you talk about construct, you talk about the abilities that you carry.
The abilities, the technicalities that you have, the tangent around your world, the technical skills.
And everybody has peculiarity.
You are peculiar by your skills, by your talent, by your giftings. You have this woven and wired within you that you need to work out, eduventionally speaking.
Eduventionally speaking, Dr. James Komolafe, however, we still see those trends of parents telling their children what they want their children to become in future, or what they would like their children to be.
They are enemies of eduvention.
Right.
And they are playing that card out on the platform of ignorance. Say, John, I need a doctor in this family. And the way you talk like a medical doctor. No. You are completely ignorant of the values and virtues embedded in eduvention.
Right.
When you do that, you are on the surface. Eduvention takes you to the deep. What is accessible, what is available, and what is feasible. It becomes real to you on the inside, especially when you are shown. Because the eduvention practice says explore, express, establish.
I asked that question because I was one of those children that never really could tell you I want to be a doctor, or I just could not tell what I wanted to be.
You were everywhere, just like you are everywhere.
Right now.
Come for eduvention training.
So I mean, I know a lot of young people suffer this. You can't quite tell if I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer, or where life is really taking you to. But you do understand that I have qualities the world would require, my community would require. So how do you really understand your innate abilities?
Eduvention has a way of culturing you into two dimensions. One, your dominant life, and then your recessive, your core. Just like in the university education system, you say core course and then elective.
Exactly.
Then you say vision and ambition. They are not the same. Oh, I just like football and all of that, and you are a football freak. That doesn't make you a good player. And if you withdraw from school because you like football, hunger is an advanced course.
And hunger is not eduventionally compliant.
In fact, hunger should be a trigger for you to look for your right recess and pull out your resources. So the second variable is construct. What do you have and what do you do with it? While the first variable is concept. Who are you? Your futures. We want to know, are you good, bad, ugly? In your four domains of concept: mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritual. If you don't balance the four, eduvention says you are on your own. Because give or take, in a short while you will start leaking. Even when people like you, you will be leaking inside as people are liking you, liking you outside. Leakages within, why you are likable outside. And that's why people don't last in this part of the world. That's why organizations go into a wide prairie fire, and after a short while they close shop.
Right.
Because there are leakages they ignore, which eduvention says, please take care of those leakages from the beginning.
Because they will
expand over time.
Stick out their face later.
They would not only stick out their face, they will have done so many havoc. Havoc internally in your structures, in your systems, and in your protocols. So that you don't begin to pray over what you should have played your role over and worked out. So that is your construct variable, the second variable. The first is about health, while the second variable is about strength. Now the third variable comes out of these first two variables, that where you have your concept and your construct, you go out there to do contribution, not accumulation. You just catch fun, contributing. What do you contribute? Value, creativity, innovative ideas, interventions, capacity to solve problems begin to come out through your processes and procedure. And at that point, you are naturally a producer. So you like to produce. So why the first variable, your concept, adduces to your personality. The second variable, your construct, adduces to your potential. While the third variable, your contribution, adduces to production. So we need the people who understands their persona to do what? Unravel their potential in order to do production.
By contributing.
Wow, Joy, you are beginning to be eduventionally sensible.
Right.
And sensitive.
Okay, now that's another concept. Eduventionally sensible and sensitive. Right.
Because you have to work in that ecosystem. Eduvention is an ecosystem where you thrive and become your best self, given what is innate. Oh, I'm praying. One day is one day. I will do this, I will do that. Eduvention says no. After praying, sit down and work it out. What you don't work out will weigh you down on the inside. So when you see an individual who is depressed, who is downcast, discouraged, it's just to let you know that this is symptom of a life that has not been eduventionally initiated. So you need to be eduventionally initiated to be able to bring out what is inside you. And it takes procedures and processes. So when you match the processes of your concept to your construct, it gives you contribution. You want to look at it the other way around. You say, okay, my persona with my potential, when the two matches together, it gives me production. You want to still look at it in another wrong, you say, well, my personality, which is my health, mingles with my potential, which is my strength, will generate for me production, which is my wealth. So whichever way you look at it, you are still eduventionally relevant.
Right.
So Joy and everyone out there, how eduventionally relevant are you? Yes, you are making profits, you are declaring dividends and all of that, but can you optimize? And so we have some reality checks to check what you are doing, to see up to percentages how eduventionally compliant you are, to help you identify gaps before they even happen.
Right.
These are not the days of okay, when we get to the river,
we'll cross it.
We'll know how to cross it. No, don't go into subsidence before you look for sustenance. And eduvention is the practice you need to imbibe in your organizational culture, in your mandate, in all that you do. These are not the days to just say, oh, I need all first class. You can have first class on your workspace, in your workspace, and what you get from them is just head knowledge. You can imagine, I'm sorry to say, and I'm not trying to despise or disparage any whatever, a mechanical engineer who has something whatever wrong with the car, and he has to go and call a roadside mechanic, and he doesn't know anything about the workings of the car,
because he has theoretically learned about it but not practically.
Not practical. So how do you demonstrate knowledge to solving problems? Not just demonstrating it. And that will take you to another spread entirely. So by the time you acknowledge your health, giving your strength, you will get your wealth. And in the midst of this all,
can you kindly say that again? So you have to acknowledge your wealth.
No, your health.
Your
first.
health,
if
right?
you acknowledge your wealth, you will go for corruption.
Okay.
That is the basis of corruption. What is there for me? What can I grab? When that is your pivotal and your priority, your pivotal priority, you will be corrupt.
Okay, so
and what is corruption? A violation from your persona that leaves your strength in another way to just be on its own while you accumulate wealth that you don't generate or create. Wealth is not donated. Any wealth donated don't last. It has to be generated via your persona that produces the potential for production, or in another way, your health discovering your strength in order to create your wealth. So wealth is a natural consequence for those who are eduventionally compliant.
Right.
Your wealth comes out on an easy road. But you want to get wealth without knowing who you are for what you have, then you are going through the wrong door, through the back door.
And of course,
corruption is just a natural
consequence of going through the back door or trying
all of the time.
Quick fixes.
Where you see people looking for quick fixes, shortcuts. They don't want procedures. Instant. You just graduated and you felt you must write the latest model. There's nothing bad in it, but you need to be able to eduventionally explain to me how you arrived there. You win jackpot. It's jackpot every day. And all of that.
And I know people, it's a lot of people, young people especially, who bet everything hoping for that one day they will win a jackpot.
And when they don't win a jackpot, they try to look for other means like jackpot and all of that. I look for quick fixes. Why we like jackpot? Maybe one day next week we should talk about Eduvention and jackpot syndrome.
Right.
So that we can call our youths to order. I've had opportunities to leave this country for a long while. Even when I travel overseas to US, a family friend said, "Doctor, come over here. There is life in Canada. Canada will accept you and take what you have." Canada is looking for what you have. Why not Nigeria looking for
what you have? Exactly.
So that's why I must stay here and salvage this nation together, like the words of one of our head of states in those days. So Eduvention says, hey, Oga, declare who you are. Madam, declare what you have. And then let's declare what you can be or do and become for the better society we are looking for. And in the midst of these three aggregates, joy brings out your depth. So your depth will come out where you are able to access your health for your strength and your wealth. You bring out your depth. I'm not talking of you owing people debt. D-E-B-T-S. No. You bring out your depth. D-E-P-T-H. How deep you are comes out. Because you have created a flat platform for the three to hobnob. For the three to reconcile. But when you are dying your health and you are looking for strength, you will kill yourself. And to worsen situation, you want to tap wealth. Outside of your strength, you will go corrupt. You will steal.
Like you said, it's only natural.
It's only natural to steal. So when you find people stealing reasonably or unreasonably, it's because they are eduventionally in deficit.
Okay.
They are deficient eduventionally speaking, and they are toxic to the language of eduvention.
Wow, that is deep. Talking about because a lot of time we take it for granted.
We take it for granted,
and unfortunately, without this this very beautiful Eduvention concept that you're telling us, we have almost normalized certain behaviors.
Even in leadership, bad behavior is the norm. You are eduventionally porous, and your porosity is affecting the nation in an adverse situation. So when you are eduventionally in adversity, we won't see prosperity across board. You think you are having all the resource to yourself and all of that. You are an enemy of Eduvention, because you are not looking for the common good. Eduvention says, turn the searchlight inward and see what you carry that can carry every one of us. But you say, no, let me see what I can carry that will power my life. So that's Eduventional stupidity. So one can be stupid and foolish, eduventionally speaking, but so full of wisdom in his brains. Until that wisdom translates to intervention, strategic solution, then you have not arrived, eduventionally speaking. So on a very pivotal note, your depth comes out when you can align your potential with your personality for which you do production. And then when your depth comes out, it becomes a natural consequence for you to find your flaws.
And to thrive.
And to thrive. You will never see a fountain that will not chart its path and course. No matter the crevices, no matter the limitations and the stones, it will overwhelm it and keep going. Then you become a center of attraction. So you want to attract customer, you want to do creative business, and to scale. Please, it's not about looking for fund to scale. You must power your flow without the deficiencies. So what are Eduvention deficiencies? Loopholes, gaps, and vacuums that you accommodate, wittingly or unwittingly. Power your flow and ensure that you are just branded, grounded, and rounded. No crack.
Say that again. Branded, grounded, and rounded.
People are packaging their brands, but they are not branded or rounded.
And so the smallest shock would not affect the foundation.
It will break down the whole show. You have a GP tank that can take a very large volume of water, large mass of water, but surprisingly it has 3 leakages. You say, no problem, we will manage. The leakages notwithstanding. In a short while, you will come back to that big GP tank that is as big as this house, empty. Not the devil's work. It is you who is not eduventionally acclimatizing yourself. So, please get eduventionally compliant. And what do we do for you? We have incentives we will supply to you for free, even your organizations, to see your Eduvention profile, to see your Eduvention profit and losses, to see your Eduvention structural deviation or definition, to see your Eduvention trend analysis, even your Eduvention root cause analysis, point blank analysis will all stare at you at the face, and then you will know what to do necessarily and do what you know sufficiently. And then you balance the equation.
So when SAPA Resources wants to do an intervention for an organization, is it individually, or you go into the entire concept of that organization?
It depends on our specimen.
Right.
It could be an individual, it could be a family, it could be an institution, it could be people, platforms, and we've been doing this over the years. And there's no culture or a particular demography that is exonerated. No, we go into all. We go into homes. We fix retainership programs for hospitals, for institutions to just go in there, not just for education. That's why in our training programs, we don't just come to train you and teach you ABC, the how. We also check you instanta. We do 5T model.
5 T model
of behavior modification.
Okay, you will just quickly give us the T models. So
yes, anything you are training and you just train and go and say all of the grammar and economics terminology, you are just standing on one leg out of 5. You need to teach people, which is education.
Right.
You need to test people on the spot,
okay,
which is evaluation. No go and come. Then you need to treat people right there by modifying behavior,
right,
which is called intervention.
Okay.
And then you need to trend the result, which we call integration. People apply it and say, wow, doctor, this thing works. And the last T is you thrust out the result for an incentive for continuity, which is execution.
Wow.
So if you don't have these metrics on ground in fact and figure, and you call yourself a trainer, you have to come to school.
You have to come to school.
You have to be educationally educated to be able to carry on with this platform and bring style, variety to what you are doing.
Dr. James Komolafe, it's always wonderful to have you discuss this very passionate concept. I mean, you see, you need to look at yourself when you talk about some of those things.
I'm so touched about it when I see the mediocrity going on everywhere, in the corporate sector, in the organized private sector, in families and in homes.
Good thing we have this program.
That is why we are having the adherence going on here and there.
Exactly.
We can't take it no more.
And we will not take it. We would come to your screens to ensure you understand, so you can work and have the potential optimally. Dr. James, if you can just quickly give out your number so that...
You want to be educationally compliant at your own space. Please, this is my number. +234 8035 999 220. Or just put my name on Google. James Komolafe's number. It's everywhere. Call me anytime. We'll send you a free resources for you to begin to check up.
From the neck up.
From the neck up. John,
to be good,
in order to be good, neck down. And when you are good neck down, you will be great leg forward.
Dr. James Komolafe, Chief Consultant, SAPA Resources, thank you so much for being part of the program. You didn't know I have that in my head already.
Yeah, coming up.
We'll be back tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow with so much more. Thank you for keeping the date with us here on Joy Asanya Live. Have a wonderful, restful day and be eduventionally compliant.
Thank you.